Mataji. So
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
yeah, I think we have now 13 devotee. Mataji, should we start or you want to wait?
No, please, let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyaptya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear God family. Today is it's a very difficult yet simultaneously joyful day because we get to talk about and celebrate the life of our dearest godbrother, His Grace Janakinath Prabhu. I offer my most humble obeisances to each of you here today. I spoke to Guru Maharaj very briefly this morning and I asked him if he would be able to speak to us today and join us. And he said that he'll try to pop in, but he will repurpose another one of our calls in dedication to Janakinath Prabhu. So today, there's not going to be a class, not by me for sure, but I thought we could spend our time together watching 2 short videos of our dear Janakinath Prabhu, and we can hear from him himself and what he wanted us to learn and just learn from him today. Guru Maharaj also told me that I should speak even if just for a few moments. So I will only speak for 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll hear from Janakinath Prabhu. And then I thought we could all just process this together, grieve together, maybe share some memories. And I know we got to speak just a few days ago to Janakinath Prabhu and we all got to say a little something, but I think we were also short on time because we all know we can speak about the glories of His Grace Janakinath Prabhu for hours and hours and days. So I just thought I would begin by reading a note that was sent to His Grace Sutta Prabhu by His Holiness Satchinandan Swami. Somebody had forwarded that in our WhatsApp chat, but I thought it was the perfect way to frame our discussion today. Dear Sutta Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Janakinath Prabhu's departure is glorious. He left in the Lord's temple. He left in good consciousness because his interest in his last days with us was entirely fixed on hearing and chanting and on nothing else. Their lordships, Sri Radha Gokulananda, for sure kept a loving eye on him. And then everything is all right. Of course, we will lament when the effect of his departure fully sinks into our awareness, but really it is on this day, it is Janakinath who can jubilate. His human form of life is successful. All the service he has done, all the good relationships to the many devotees, all the holy names he has chanted, and his unique personality, all this makes his life glorious. When I think of Janakinath, the following words of Srila Prabhupada come to mind. When a devotee with all his heart and soul serves Krishna, Krishna smiles. If you can get Krishna to smile upon you just once, your life's goal is fulfilled. Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25:12. I want to also thank you and all the devotees who served him so nicely, and I feel very honored to have known such a nice devotee. Myself and Gaur Krishna will spend this day mindful of Janakinath, and this evening we will dedicate the kirtan for him. Wishing you all the best and lots of spiritual strength, yours in Srila Prabhupada's Seva, Sachinandan Swami. So in our tradition, as you all know, when we think about or when we study death, we know that whatever our consciousness is at the time of death will dictate our future destination. And we all spoke to Janakinath Prabhu just on Wednesday, just a few days ago. And we were able to see that even in his condition, he was able to remain fixed on Lord Krishna's lotus feet and on Srila Prabhupada and on our dear Guru Maharaj. And he spent his life in service to our dear Guru Maharaj. So we needn't have any doubt, as Sachinandan Swami assured, that his life was completely successful and glorious. We also hear always that death is our final exam. And, when you remember, our college or university days, we think about how the final exam always carried the most weight for our final mark. And throughout the semester, we would spend the whole semester reading and studying in preparation for the final exam. And in between, we would have assignments, or we would have quizzes, or we would have tests, ultimately, once again, to prepare us for this final exam. So let's remember this incredible example we had in our illustrious godbrother, His Grace Janakinath Prabhu, who passed these unbelievably difficult quizzes and tests and assignments, and ultimately showed us how to pass the final exam. So that's all that I'm going to say today, dear God family, and let's hear from Janakinath Prabhu himself. So if you just give me a moment to share my screen. We're going to first listen to a 15-minute TED Talk by Janakinath Prabhu entitled, There is No Negativity. Okay, Lavanya Mataji, can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Okay, great.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? Good afternoon. It's nice to be here. Is it nice to be here for you guys? Yes. All right, good. Thank you. So my name is JD. I'm actually a monk. I've been a monk for 10 years, and I'm very excited to be here. When I finished my monk training, my teacher told me that I was very fortunate because I had an opportunity to learn from great teachers and some great wisdom. So he just told me that whatever you've learned, you should share it. So today, I'm very fortunate that I can be here and share some wonderful incidents that's happened in my life, and hoping that it can help you as well. So today's session, I titled it as, There is no such thing as negativity, a monk's perspective. Now this is a bit of an interesting title because we go through negativities all the time in life, correct? Right? But I was told I need a catchy title, so when this video goes up, there'll be more views, and hence that title. So bear with me. Today's story, I'm going to start off with a gift. How many of you like here receiving gifts? Do you like gifts? Yeah? Gifts are good, right? Makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, there's meaning, it develops relationships, and most importantly, some gifts are there to teach us lessons in life. And what I want to do is I want to share with you the best gift I received almost 2 years ago. This gift did some amazing things for me. It helped me actually appreciate life more. I was more grateful. It helped me give a broader perspective of what life is all about. I became more compassionate, more empathetic. I was more determined to achieving my goals, and most importantly, it's not a big gift. It's quite small. It doesn't cost much, and it did some good stuff. Is this something you want? Is this a gift that you'd like to try out? Are you sure? All right, so let me share with you. The gift I received was this. This, believe it or not, is actually a scan. It's a scan of my colon, and what you see is actually a tumor. So 24th of Jan 2017, I vividly remember walking into my doctor's office. He sat me down, gave me a glass of water, and he told me, JD, I'm sorry, but we've got some bad news. Unfortunately, you've been diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. Now, he explained me the details. He told me that actually the cancer that you have, colon cancer, generally 9 out of 10 people get it from the age above 60. So I guess I was the lucky one, you know. And he said, just to make things even complicated, he goes, you're also diagnosed with tuberculosis. Okay, this was me just before my surgery. I look happy, don't I? The reason is because I never knew I would look so cool in a hospital gown. And also it gives me a bit of a change of attire. Generally we wear orange cloth like this, so this is a bit different. This is me after surgery. I look happy here as well, isn't it? The reason why is, can you see the blue switch? I don't know if you can see it. When I press that switch, it releases morphine. And believe it or not, this is the only time a monk is legally allowed to take any form of intoxicant. So I was high, but and I was really happy. Apparently, after my surgery, I told one of the nurses that she looks very beautiful. And I'm not the sort of person that would just flirt with anyone. I'm a monk, remember that. You know. So this is me after surgery. So after surgery, it took me 2 months to recover, and my doctors then told me the procedure. I had to go through 6 months of intense chemotherapy and had to pop about 30 pills every single day to overcome, you know, it was part of the treatment. And then after 6 months, it was an intense, exhausting experience. I then spent the next 6 months actually recovering. So I rebuilt my strength, I had strict diet. I even went to India to learn yoga and become a yoga teacher. After 6 months, I was feeling on top of the world. I felt like, you know, I went through cancer, I'm back to normal, I feel strong. Story gets better. I did the next scan. In the next scan, it was discovered that the tumor had spread to my liver. They found two more lumps in my liver, and they said, you're gonna have to go for another surgery. And I'll be honest with you, you know what's the first thought that came to my mind when it got relapsed? More morphine time. Seriously, I'm not a drug addict, by the way, just to clarify. But it was an interesting, the first thing that came. But of course, afterwards, when the situation settled, I could understand the gravity of it. This is me. So this is a chemo session. This is in chemo ward. The red bag you see is actually the chemical that they inject you intravenously. So you're there, and at the end, you're finished. Okay? I wasn't on morphine then, by the way. This is me when I got diagnosed with, you know, when the cancer got spread to my liver. And this was a very intense surgery because they had to make many incisions in my body, and it was very painful. And believe it or not, I actually got a C-section. They gave me cesarean to remove my liver, half of my liver. It regenerates, it's not so bad. You know, so I had to go through the whole cycle again. I had to start chemotherapy again. I had to, you know, they said, we'll give you 8 cycles of chemo again. After 6 cycles, the story gets better. Apparently, the cancer spread to my lungs, apparently. So they said that we're going to give you indefinite chemo till further test. So why am I telling you all this? The reason why I'm telling you all this, by the way, this is my gift. You still want this gift? No, I don't think so. You know, so the reason why I'm telling you is when this happened, I did not see this as a gift. In fact, I went through a roller coaster of negative emotions, okay? And the emotions I went through was fear. That's one of the biggest emotions cancer patients go through. And actually, it's not fear of death. It is actually fear of what? Of the unknown, okay? You know, cancer patients, when they go through scans, they go through something called scanxiety, you know, because when you actually do a scan, you have to wait for 2 weeks just to find out what the result was. And that 2 weeks seems like a long time. There was fear, there was anxiety, there was stress, depression. I had no idea what depression was, but this experience gave me a glimpse of what depression was. And it was not a nice feeling. There's loss of low self-esteem. You know, there was also like, you know, you're sad, mood swings, you name it, all the negative experience I went through. Now, do you guys go through these emotions in your day-to-day life? Yeah? We do. Everyone goes through this. The point is you don't have to go through cancer to go through these emotions. These emotions are universal. Everyone goes through it. And therefore, it's very important to learn the science to deal with these negative emotions and make it very digestible. Because if we don't, life becomes very miserable. So how did I overcome these negative emotions? So there's so many information and knowledge out there that teaches you how to overcome negativity. But I decided to choose wisdom from the Eastern tradition. So I come from the school of Bhakti Yoga tradition. And in Bhakti Yoga, we actually take wisdom from an ancient book called the Bhagavad Gita. It is a very fascinating book because it teaches you universal principles by which you can learn how to deal with life's challenges. And this is a very fascinating book. It's actually a conversation between two personalities. They're two great warriors, Krishna and Arjuna, and they're having a conversation. And the gist of their conversation in this book is this, that whatever we do in life, however we perceive things in life, however we react in life, it's all dependent on the state of our consciousness. The higher our consciousness, the more in tune we are with reality, the more you have access to real happiness, right? And most importantly, you actually become immune to negativities of this world, you know? And therefore, there's so many principles this book teaches you, and I took 3 principles that really helped me to deal with my negativity. And I call it the 3 pillars. I call it the ABC pillars. These are the 3 things that help me elevate my consciousness and help me actually become detached from the external negative situation. So what are these 3 principles? So the first one is association. I think association is so key in our lives. They say your consciousness is the average of 5 people you hang around the most, okay? People affect the way you think. People affect the way you behave and how you react. And when I was in this situation, I had to really be careful who I hanged around with. One of the biggest problems cancer patients go through is loneliness. And loneliness is actually a very dangerous place to be in, because through loneliness, all the other disease come about. And they say that, you know, the effect of loneliness is same as taking 15 cigarettes a day, you know? And the only way you can come out of it is having a powerful association. I heard this one very beautiful analogy, and the analogy is like this. Once a teacher brought a student in front of the class, and the teacher asked the student to hold a cup of glass. And then the teacher asked the students, how much does this weigh? So everyone started guessing, 2 ounce, 4, 6, 8. Teacher says, no, you're all wrong. The question is not how much does it weigh, the question is how long are you going to hold on to it? The cup actually represents all the negativities that we have in life. When you think about it for a few seconds, it's okay, no problem. When you hold on to it for longer, you get aches. And if you hold on for a few days, you're going to get paralyzed. And this is how negative emotions are like. We have to let go of them.
She's got really droopy eyes, doesn't she?
They teach you how to let go.
Radha Bhakti.
That's what happened to me. I was surrounded by great friends, great families. I had a great support system, and they really helped me deal with all these negativities. So association is very key. The second one is balanced mind. Cancer is a battle I had to fight. So it's a war I had to fight. But to win this war, I had to win many, many battles, right? And this is where the mind comes into play. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's explained the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It's how you train the mind, okay? And the mind determines whether our consciousness gets elevated or it gets degraded. And one of the most effective way I found overcoming the anxieties of the mind was meditation. We hear a lot about meditation, and it works. After my surgery, I'll be honest with you, I didn't take so much morphine because I knew the side effects. So I had to come with an alternative to deal with the anxiety. So after my surgery, I would use breathing techniques and breathing meditation to deal with my physical pain. And I would do mantra meditation to deal with my mental anxieties. And mantra meditation is very powerful. It uses sacred sounds, and it actually has a powerful alteration of state of your consciousness. So one of the popular mantras that I found very effective was called the Maha Mantra, or is known as the Hare Krishna mantra. This is a very simple mantra, consisting of 3 words, and by vibrating it, you can see your consciousness being elevated and transcending whatever situation you're in. You know, and the example that I often give is of this. Like in London, do you know what's the tallest building you find in London? The Shard. If we're standing in front of the Shards, how big, and I ask you, how big is this building? What would you say? It's quite big, isn't it? Now imagine you're looking at the same building from a plane. What would you say? How big is the building? It's tiny. Similarly, the building represents our problems and challenges. What's changed is your perception, your consciousness. When we raise our consciousness, our problem become very insignificant, and that's the effect of meditation. And so that was very effective and really helped me during this whole process. And last but not least, probably the most effective technique that really helped me is contribution. In the Bhagavad Gita is mentioned that if you want to control your mind, you need to train your mind to think about how to do good for others. When I meet many cancer patients, I feel very sad. The reason why is because when I look at the way that they're dealing with the situation, it's not so great. After chemotherapy, I would actually go home to mom. Mommy's cooking, she looks after me. But a lot of cancer patients I met, they would do everything on their own. They had no one to help them out. There's no support system, nothing. And therefore, I felt very sad, very compassionate. I thought, you know what, how are these guys dealing with it? How are they coping with it? And most of them are not. So then I decided that I need to give back. I had such great, wonderful facilities, and I thought I should give back. And this is why I actually opened up a charity. Right now it's called JD's Cancer Fund, but I'm thinking of a better name, but this is what it's called right now. Okay, and the idea of this fund, this is what we do. So this is a monastery I live in Watford. It's in Hertfordshire. It's a beautiful monastery. 70-acre land is donated by George Harrison from the Beatles. By the way, you're all welcome to come. You know, we'll go for lunch or something, so please do come. This retreat, believe it or not, is actually a retreat center. And what we do is we actually provide customized well-being retreat for people from all walks of life. This is a retreat I did very recently. It was a corporate retreat. And this retreat consisted of looking after every single aspect of your being. So we look after your physical aspect, your mental, social and emotional, and most importantly, spiritual. So it's a day of yoga, meditation, different workshops from different experts in different fields. And most importantly, this is where we actually develop genuine relationships. And this retreat, when I did for the corporate, we raised about £1,500. And then I used this money to do the same retreat for the cancer community. And when I did this, one of the Macmillan nurses told me that what you provided here is exactly what cancer patient needs. And that gave me encouragement to expand and scale up. So what's the take-home message? My message is very simple, that life is not easy. There's loads of challenges. But if we raise our consciousness, then what happens is that every single moment and experience we go through in life becomes a beautiful gift, and actually we can grow from that. So right now, that's my attitude right now. I'm trying to build my life with these 3 pillars and trying to raise my consciousness at every aspect. My scan results are going to come through very soon from my previous scan. And, you know, I think I'm ready mentally. I'm stable in terms of doesn't matter what the result is. Every opportunity now I'm seeing is an adventure. I'm seeing it as an opportunity for growth. And most importantly, I'm seeing it as an opportunity to give back to society. And I want to leave you guys with one powerful quote, which had a powerful impact. In life, when something bad happens to you, you have 3 choices. You can either let it define you, you can either let it destroy you, or most importantly, you can let it strengthen you. I want to thank you for your time. I hope that was useful. I'll speak to you soon.
So that was a wonderful TED Talk. I thought we could also watch together. My computer will allow me. Sorry, just give me one moment. Just the last 4 or 5 minutes of a video that Janakinath Prabhu sent us, the God family, after he was, Guru Maharaj had sent an email. Sorry, I would like the gallery view. Guru Maharaj sent us an email letting us know that it seemed as though Janakinath Prabhu was giving up, and he was very intent on letting us know that he wasn't in fact giving up. And so he sent the God family a 9-minute video. I just thought together we can watch the last, I think, 4 minutes or so, because I think it's quite instructive. So we'll come back together.
Let devotees know I'm doing okay. And one thing I do want to share with devotees is that, you know, I think all of us are going through different challenges, you know, different details of the challenge. I've got health issues, but I'm sure other devotees have different issues. But, you know, this is just a reminder, this world, the nature is that it's a dangerous place. It's not a place for us to hang around. And so it's a good reminder, you know, and this is something I do want to share with devotees, that those who are going through challenges, that these challenging times are actually, and I mean this because I've going through it, experiencing it, these testing time is the time where you really relish Krishna consciousness. Before I theoretically knew that, but this journey has been such a challenge, but in a good way. And my realization is that as long as I am absorbed in Krishna Katha, in Krishna consciousness, these experiences actually become very blissful. One of my best Krishna conscious experiences have been in the past 4 years when I was going through this cancer journey. And mainly is because I knew the importance of absorption in sadhana, in Krishna consciousness, and hearing Krishna Katha. And really that's been my biggest strength. And it's because of this that I do not want to give up the fight, because there is pleasure in this fight, ironically. I hope it makes sense. But the point I'm trying to make is that absorption, hearing Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam is the key, and that's the reason why I have not given up the fight. And also we're very fortunate that we get to hear Guru Maharaj on a daily basis. For me, that's such a huge strength. I was telling him that this hearing his conferences every day, I don't hear it live, but the recorded versions I do. It just gives me a lot of strength. His sound vibration when it enters my ears, my heart, just uplifts me, no matter how much of a bad day I'm going through, So we're very fortunate. I'm very grateful for Guru Maharaj and his classes. And I also like the interaction that devotees have in the conference at the end. It's sweet. It's always nice to hear devotees' reflections, realizations. And icing on the cake is, it was always nice to hear Sri Devi Mataji at the end of the conference with her realizations and questions, very deep and thought-provoking, So yeah, devotees, just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support. I really do hope and wish that, April, things are okay, things are lifted, and, Guru Maharaj decides to do a disciple conference, and then, we can all meet and rave it up. So yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I just wanted to share this. Yeah, things are okay. Even going at the hospital, for me, it's great because I mean, amazing people. The staff's amazing, and hospital's a great place to make you more sober and very reflective. I had a lot of opportunities to hear and chant at the hospital when I came back, and it was nice. I just thought I'd end it with a lighter note, so I thought I'd share this. When I was in the hospital, because one of my symptoms, my colon gets blocked up, I get constipated. So one of the person at the hospital, he just shared me this joke, so I'll end it with a joke. He said that, have you seen this new movie come out? It's called Constipation. And I'm like, no. He goes, oh, that's right, because it's not come out yet. I found that hilarious. I hope I don't get in trouble for that joke. But anyways, devotees, thank you very much. I just pray to Krishna that somehow or the other I get an opportunity to render service for all the wonderful prayers and affection you've all shown me as well. So thank you. Till next time, Gauranga. Don't give up the fight.
So, dear devotees, if you are comfortable, please share your videos and we can all be together and share whatever's on our mind, and we can maybe be there for each other right now. I'm wondering if any of our senior God siblings would like to begin by just reflecting. Maybe Sri Devi Mataji or Vishnupriya Mataji, would one of you like to begin with saying something?
I don't know, Radha Bhakti, if there are senior devotees online like Leela Shakti Mataji, and if they're there, if you would like to.
Yeah, I don't see Leela Shakti Mataji here. Why not you begin, Mataji?
Okay. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. What can I say about Janakinath that will be adequate, that will be meaningful? I don't know, because there's so much to say and it'll still never be enough. He is such a glorious personality. I believe, like Jayananda Prabhu, he came for a reason to teach us many, many things in a very short span of time. And as Sachinandan Maharaj said, his life is perfect. He remained completely fixed in service to Guru Maharaj and Krishna. So there are many takeaway lessons from his life. My personal interactions with him were few, but what has stood out and will always stand out in my memory is that big Jagannath smile and his Gauranga! His joviality, his joking, his humor. He was brimming with positive energy. He never complained. He never complained. He had no time for prajalpa, criticism, cribbing, complaining, crying, weeping. He was on the go. He knew the value of the human form of life, and especially after the cancer diagnosis, he was intent on making his life successful. He used every minute in Krishna's service. I could see that. And every time I saw him, even after the operations, even after the diagnosis, even after all those horrendous chemotherapies, it was always giving something to others. He never asked for anything. He never said, oh, poor me, I've gone through this operation, look what's happened. No. How are you? What's going on with you? I'm so excited. You're going to Mayapur. And I was like, wow, I can't believe it. Here I am still cribbing, crying, weeping, complaining. And this boy is, he's younger than me, so I can call him a boy. He's full of giving. He's full of love and concern for others, even in spite of what he's going through. To me, that was huge. I was like, wow, this person is a big spiritual warrior. He's a spiritual giant. And there's so much for me to learn from him. When he came to visit, which was with Guru Maharaj, because Guru Maharaj would come every year and visit my home and spend about 5 days, sometimes 7 days, 3 days sometimes. But every year he would come and spend some time with us. And in the last few years, Janakinath Prabhu and Shiv Prabhu had come to my home. I'll just tell you one small incident. Maybe some of you have heard it before. Prabhu was playing some kirtan, and I was asking, who is that? And he said, Achyuta Gopi. And I said, no, that's not Achyuta Gopi, because, I didn't know so much, but I knew Achyuta Gopi is a girl. And the voice sounded like a man. Now I know that, she has a very manly kind of a voice. And so I said, no, that's not Achyuta Gopi. Of course, I was wrong. Janakinath Prabhu said nothing. He didn't argue. He didn't contradict me. He didn't set me right. He didn't straighten me out. He didn't say, you're wrong. It is Achyuta Gopi. He just continued quietly doing his service. And to me, that was like, now when I think about it, it's like another big lesson for me, because I come from a dysfunctional home, folks. Please, that's why I'm so weird and crazy. I beg your forgiveness. In my home, it was arguing, fighting, quarreling, shouting, hostility all the time. That's my home. So to me, argument is natural. That's my modus operandi. I argue about everything. And here is a saintly Vaishnav. He said nothing. He didn't contradict me. He was right, but he said nothing. He let me learn on my own my mistakes. He was so graceful about it. To me, that's a huge lesson, because I'm not like that. And Janakinath has given me his love. For that, I'll always be grateful. And I'm going to steal his trademark Gauranga. Everywhere I go, I'm going to say Gauranga and say, this is Janakinath Prabhu's trademark smile and greeting. So I have stolen it so that you remember Lord Gauranga. Because every time I think of Janakinath, I remember Lord Chaitanya. I want you to remember Lord Chaitanya too, through my God brother. So he is going to continue his preaching. Simply because we'll all remember Gauranga when we think of Janakinath. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Sridevi Mataji. Vishnupriya Mataji, would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev and to our Janakinath. So I really realized that I have a lot of exchanges with him. But maybe one of the reasons is because very often during our seva together for Guru Maharaj, we were in position to book flight tickets for him. So it was always this date, that date. Yeah. So maybe this was the reason why he was answering my emails. He had to. Yeah. Maybe I would like to share a few small things which are now coming to my mind, but there's so many. Actually, there's so many. I had a lot of his association. Yeah. I think it was before one disciple meeting in Croatia, and he didn't think that he will come because he had chemotherapy just before. And maybe 2 or 3 days before, he sent email, Vishnu Priya Mataji, I will come, I can come. Doctors told me that I can come. And I was thinking, wow, nice, wonderful. But he said, please don't be in anxiety. I know that all the accommodation is already full. And he knew very well Zagreb temple. And he said, there is one small, tiny terrace without fence in front of Guru Maharaj's room. And he said, I will just sleep there. Don't be in any anxiety. I need nothing special for myself. And I was, what? There is no even a fence and it's cold. And he said, no, it's okay. I will take my sleeping bag. So this was Janakinath basically. And then I also remember when I had some health issues, he was really running after me. Did you do checkups? What are the results? I also had some problem with my stomach and my intestines, and somehow he could relay already at that time with these health issues. So there's so many small things. I don't know how many Vyasa pujas together, how many disciples meeting together, how many emails together in Seva. And maybe these last 2 years, I didn't bother him so much anymore with emails. Here and there, I was sending him just some sign that I'm thinking of him. This night, I couldn't sleep properly. And at time when, I'm so sorry. When Roberto sent this message that he is not good, I saw it, it was around 1:15 in the night, according to Central European time. Actually, I just opened my mobile phone, and because I was so restless, and I was thinking maybe it's about Janakinath, because I was really thinking about him a lot. And then I found this message, and somehow I gave promise to myself that I will not let him go out of my life and heart. So I will do whatever is necessary, you know, how we like to have photos and some lines with maybe some text, but he really changed my life. Yeah, he was the best. You know, he was coming to Croatia and he was telling me, Vishnupriya, can you just find some car? I can drive left side, right side, any side, I will drive Guru Maharaj. Just please find some car. So this was our exchange all the time. And one time, it was just beginning of my Krishna consciousness. He came and he said, can you cook pasta with pesto for Guru Maharaj? And I said, pesto, you know, you need basil, some special things. And it was maybe winter time. And then he just said, is it possible to buy it somewhere in Croatia? So he was so practical and he always had solution for everything. So I don't know. I just feel that I don't know how long I will live, but I really want to stay connected with him. And I'm 100% sure that we have still Seva together. It's just a matter of time when we will continue it. We are same family, we will do Seva together eternally. So I will give my best to reach this place. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Vishnu Priya Mataji. I saw that Madhvi Mataji has joined. She dropped. Madhavi Mataji, are you still here? Yes, please.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
All of us school goes to start. Okay.
Mataji, would you like to say
Yeah.
a few words? Okay.
I'll try to speak up. It's very, very sad news for me because I've known him before his initiation, before March came, being Nanta's Acharya's friend used to come to my place. And then March came first time to England. He stayed with us, and Janakinath was the first disciple, as we know. Very humble, very, as Vishnu Priya said, he would take any situation very calmly, doesn't need anything, like he comes, he just will do with anything. So, yeah, I have got lots and lots of time with him. Today, from yesterday, I can't forget him because he didn't mean only because I've known him because of Guru Maharaj, but I've known him before that, like my son. He'd been trained in my house. First time Maharaj was, second time when Anantacharya had operation, Maharaj landed here, and he said he was given somewhere else. And I told Janakinath, why you have given him there? He can come here, doesn't matter. He said, operation, I can cope. And then Maharaj went there, and then suddenly he decided, he said, no, we're going there. I don't want to stay here. And at 10 o'clock at night, he landed to my house, and I just quickly cleaned it up, like, because I was at work and came back, and because Ananta's things too. So Maharaj came, and Janakinath really served him. He gave his mind, everything to Maharaj and Krishna. It's a really, really good example for us to take it. And then Maharaj said, we said about all that, and then he went up in the morning. He started asking Janakinath to clean his room, though I had done it, and I felt so bad that I haven't cleaned it properly. So I says, and he came down to take out, because it was on the attic. We had a room in our old house, so he was always used to stay there. So I went up and I said, Maharaj, what are you doing? I'm sorry, haven't I cleaned it properly or what? He said, no, this place is now becoming my training place for my disciples before they get initiated. So he trained him very well, and we cooked together. He learned cooking from me, and we always had the exchange of Maharaj, what he will like, what nay, is this done nice or not. I think not only that, when Maharaj came first to Manor, he had very much problem about prasadam because there was not many people. So at times because I used to work part-time, so I used to cook, and we used to meet halfway sometimes because I didn't have enough time to get to Manor for Maharaj to have prasad in time. So we were conscious of giving Maharaj prasad in time, that is there. So he would meet me halfway. I would drive from south and he would drive from Manor, and then we would exchange the empty tiffins and then drive off other way. So, and sometimes I used to drive all the way to Manor to give him tiffin and all that. So until I think Guru Bhakti got initiated, I had that. After that, I had to lay down Mars. And now there's a Guru Bhakti teacher. She will be able to cook. And so, yeah, lots and lots. If I carry on, it's so many. Then at home as well, always he was so like brother to me, father to me. I always accepted his father to me. And one day he said, how old are you? And I said, oh, you're younger than me. So you're my sister. So I can tell you off, or you can tell me anything you want to tell me, which you can't tell it to sannyasi. So yeah, so it was like that. So with Janakinath, I really until end, but unfortunately in the end, I couldn't see him. And last week when we had this podcast, my sister-in-law was in hospital, so I was there, and I didn't see the text message that we were doing personally. So he would be missed, and he's a very good example for all of us. Humor, if you see his humor, it's never I have never seen that he has criticized anyone or spoken anything about the situation. I sometimes used to say, don't you get irritated sometimes because you're doing university program, then when Maharaj comes, you're running from here to there. And so it's okay. Mataji. And I learned from him that word is okay. Carry on. It's a blessing. So yeah. And again, one time when Maharaj came straight from airport, that time he decided not to wear dhoti and that because he had a problem last time. I don't know where he was coming from. But then he came straight to my house, and then he had to go to give a class to South Street, and asked Janakinath to bring his suitcase from his place. And he completely forgot. It was in one place. He forgot, and just because he had gone so many programs, and he came out. He ran and he came, and Maharaj was just waiting to go for the class. And he came, and Maharaj said, "Where is my suitcase?" "Sorry, Maharaj, I forgot." Oh my God! Now there were no clothes for him to go. I said, "Well, I'm going to go in this one to give a class." He took it so nicely. The way he took everything, any chastisement he got, the way he took it was really, And then he said, "Now what I'm going to go do?" So then I said, "Maybe let's see something we can find in the house for him." They said, "Okay." So we went. I said, No. I think I've got my own Guru Maharaj's set of clothes. It might not fit him, but let's see what we can do. I can just quickly put the machine on, or switch the machine on, and just do it up for him. So we brought it, ironed it up, and Maharaj tried. I said, "It's okay. It's a little bit puffy, but at least I can go." So you always have everything in your house for anybody, sannyasi, brahmacharis, children, anybody. You always have. Mataji always accept. So so Janakinath is like that. And that when we had a Korisha treatment, he even though whatever health he would, he traveled. That day, I said, "Janakinath, you're crazy. You're here." So I can't miss it. Everybody's association. So so I've got so much. So I think I'll leave it to others to say. But it will be missed by me. And today, as I said, I'm completely broken, and I'm in the house, but I can't do anything. I just thought I'll just sit down to do Jagannath Gamchas for Snan Yatra, see if my mind can be fixed on that. We shouldn't be like this because he's gone to the right place, he's gone back home. He's so fortunate to go through that. Definitely, Krishna has come for it, for him. And hope I'm just asking him, Janakinath, please make my space as well there if I'm qualified. Please ask Prabhupada, am I qualified to come back? And take me back as well, where you are to get your association. So hopefully one day we'll get his association. But now we have to carry on. So we'll carry on with his memories and his good teachings, and that he on his footpath to how to serve Guru and how to be a devotee, good devotee. Doesn't matter any situation, we should be coping and really focusing on Krishna. He had one focus only, to serve Krishna. So thank you very much. Radha Bhakti. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Madhuri Mataji. I wish we could be together in person, sending you much love. Would anybody else like to say a few words? Just quite a few devotees on the line.
Yeah, he's one of the, and he and Namananta always in my heart. If there were three were together in my house, there was always a really humor, laughing, and all that going on. Sometimes they are upstairs laughing, and I couldn't stop myself to go and see what they are laughing on, Yeah, so it's really good. Someone I met really now as a son as well as a godbrother, or as a, and he taught us how to live as a human being. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Let me share one funny thing. There was a I think Guru I think it was meanwhile, Guru Maharaj was coming to Chicago, so I went to pick him up, airport. So while we came home, and what happened? The power was gone. There was no power, So we cannot get into the house, The garage door was locked, and I had no key, And then Janakinath says, "Oh, let's go backside and let's use the window, to get in, And somehow on that maybe same time that somehow the light came back too, So I mean, he's just amazing, his service and like coming to Chicago a few times, and I mean, same thing like at home, like serving Guru Maharaj, wonderful, So we all missing him, so all glories to his service and him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Janakinath Prabhu. Would anyone else like to say a few words?
Hare Krishna, Radha Bhakti. Thank you so much, this Satyabhama. Thank you so much for organizing this. And I really want to thank whoever has organized the Wednesday session. And we got to take his darshan, and, we could glorify him when he was there. It was really nice to see him, after a long, long time. It's been a year. I was thinking to, I really wanted to see him. I tried so many times, this time even, that, contacted quite a few devotees in manner that if I could just take his darshan, just see him from away, and it wasn't possible for Wednesday, but on Wednesday, seeing him just, it was really nice. Thank you so much. And thank you for, for all this. This is a really tough time for all of us, and especially for Guru Maharaj to, see his young disciple and so close. I always noticed that Guru Maharaj always had so much affection for him, He always talked about Janakinath Prabhu as, a very ideal disciple who always thought about Guru, how he can please Guru, how he can serve Guru, and how he can, instruct others to serve Guru. I got so many instructions, even on small things when he used to come. He would, even on the phone, he would say, Guru Maharaj won't like this, Guru Maharaj would like this, cook like that, cook like this. And every small instruction, it's just so nice and amazing that, so many times you just have a little bit envy that, oh, maybe she might serve Guru better than me, or things like that, even in what family we may have things like this. But he was always there for us, I felt. Even I remember, I did not have much interaction, but in last 3-4 years, whatever interactions I had with him, it was so sweet and pleasing. I felt like, someone is holding my hand on this such a difficult journey when you have, selected your Guru and you have no idea how to serve. You're just like, a baby in the cradle, and you have no idea how to walk, how to get up, what to do, what not to do. But Lord has sent him. And I feel really so much pain that, he left so early. He had so many things to do. He could be really useful for Guru and could be really useful for Krishna in this moment. He could make a difference in all of our lives and others' life as well. I don't know why so many times Krishna just take devotees like that. Thank you so much, Radha Bhakti. Your talk on Wednesday was really very sweet. And thank you for scheduling this session as well. Jai.
Thank you so much, Satyabhama Mataji. And yes, thank you to Roberto Prabhu for taking such amazing care of Janakinath Prabhu. My husband and I were saying yesterday that that service will take Roberto Prabhu back to Godhead because it was so sweet. And yes, he organized the Wednesday program. So all glories to Roberto Prabhu for facilitating our opportunity to say goodbye And yeah, thank you, Mataji. I didn't organize today's call. This is the regular daily call, and Guru Maharaj was just unavailable. So thank you so much for your kind words, and we're all with you. Would anyone else like to say a few words? I know there's particularly a lot of devotees on from England who've had a lot of close association. And of course, anyone from anywhere, if you'd like to say something, please do.
Hare Krishna, Radha Bhakti.
Oh, Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Tushar Prabhu. Yes, we
the
can.
Mahabala instances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to our dearly departed co-brother. Just a couple of things. Yes, I interacted with Janakinath, and I think the thing for me, and there's so many aspects of his life and his character is just incredible. But one aspect of his life and character was, as Shamavama Mataji had quite rightly pointed out, he was a disciple's mentor, a mentor to be envied. He taught me what nobody else could teach, how to serve Guru Maharaj without any envy, any other thought apart pleasing the Guru and doing it perfectly. He was so well trained, instructed, which is fine. Everybody is, can be at that level. But I think what he brought extra was his charm and personality, calmness and sweetness when he was teaching us to serve Guru Maharaj. We'd have calamities at Buckland, cooking behind the scenes, burning the chapatis. Chapatis were cold, and he would improvise. And when there's any chastisement to be given by Guru Maharaj, he was always the first one in line. No, I'll take it. You guys stay behind. It's fine. It's my job. And I think that's just a special quality that I'll always remember by and aspire to. I don't think I'll ever reach that level. But he set such a high standard, but in such a sweet, loving way that, it was just something very, very profound, very unusual, very unique. And I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime again. That's how special he was. And I think he touches everybody's hearts in different ways, but I think this is a way he touched my heart. So thank you again for the organization and giving me some opportunity to speak on behalf of such an elevated Vaishnava. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Tushar Prabhu. I know we're at time, so if anybody needs to go, that's okay. But for those of you who can stay, would anybody else like to say a few words? Deepti Mataji put a question in the chat. How is Guru Maharaj doing? I don't know if anybody has spoken to him. I only spoke to him very briefly. Guru Maharaj is, I don't know if I can speak for him. He just mentioned that for him, this was unexpected. He didn't think this would happen so soon. That's all he really mentioned to me. Has anybody else spoken to Guru Maharaj? Okay. So just before we close, anybody else last chance want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Radha Bhakti.
Radha,
Sorry, go on, Prabhu.
no, sorry, Mataji. I was just going to say that I don't know if everybody's heard the story of what happened. Everybody clear what happened on Friday and Saturday?
No, if you could please share, that would be great.
So,
Little
Janakinath,
louder, Prabhu. Your voice is very low.
I'm feeling a bit low.
I know, but we are not able to
Let
hear.
me just see if I can shout a little bit more. Maybe that's a little bit better. Apologies, but
Yes.
I'm just remote. That's why. So I think what happened was that after he met the God family, he was really energized, Janakinath. And when he was energized, as a manner, they talked about maybe boosting his energy levels with some blood transfusion. And Janakinath actually said, "Yeah, I'm up for that." So the local doctor, in-house doctor, said, "Yeah, we can have a go at this. We can try this. Hopefully it'll boost your energy levels up by giving you a blood transfusion." So that's was decision taken on Friday evening, where they started prepping him for going into the hospital for a blood transfusion. So Saturday he was in hospital and with a couple of devotees. I don't think Radha Prabhu was there, but some other devotees from the manor. I think is it Radha Damodar Prabhu? Maybe someone. There was a couple anyway. That took Janakinath. He had his blood transfusion. It went reasonably well, but then I think he must have had some complications. And so the doctors called the manor and said, literally, he's not going to last more than an hour. So I think it was a rapid turn after the blood transfusion on Saturday that Janakinath went from worse, from bad to worse. And the devotees were there, Prabhupada chanting in the background. There were some kirtans going on as well. And Sutapa Prabhu, who's the senior monk there, was racing towards the hospital. I think he didn't make it in time, and Janakinath left peacefully on Saturday evening, and surrounded by a couple of the brahmacharis there, with Prabhupada in the background, and some kirtans going on. So that's what I know of his final hours before he left his body.
So, Prabhu, did he make to a manor or not? Was he in the hospital? He left his body?
No, he was in the hospital. They were there. So Sutapa Prabhu was driving and trying to get him back into the manor because they prepared the room. It was like completely Vrindavan in his room. So that's what the thought was that to rush back, bring him back to his place, and they didn't quite manage. But my thought is he spent so much time surrounded by medical people, and he's preached so much in the hospitals. Maybe Krishna thought this is the appropriate place. You've done so much good work in the hospitals, converting nurses, doctors, whoever. Maybe it was Krishna's arrangement. Just my thought.
I love what you said, Tushar Prabhu. I just love what you said, because wherever a pure devotee is, he makes that place Vrindavan. So he made that hospital in Vrindavan simply by being over there. And even as he was leaving, he was giving Krishna consciousness to others just by leaving like that.
Oh, right to the last moment, he was preaching. Right to the last moment. Just by his example, he was preaching.
Prabhuji, which hospital was Janakinath Prabhu in?
I'm not sure. Few times he was at Middlesex Hospital, but he may have been, I'm not sure, Northwick Park maybe. Could be well, Watford or Northwick Park would be the closest to the manor, but I'm not sure. But his other treatments were at North Middlesex or Middlesex Hospital.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Tushar Prabhu, for giving us that context, as I think we all had that question about his final moments. So thank you. Satyabama Mataji, were you trying to say something else earlier?
No, this is what I wanted to know, that what happened at the last moments here. Thank you, Radha Bhakti. Thank you, Tushar Prabhu.
So if nobody else has anything to say, we can wrap for today, and Guru Maharaj will arrange another session with all of us together where he will glorify Janakinath Prabhu. I also sent in our WhatsApp chat, I think the devotees in England are doing a series of memorials starting today. So today, tomorrow, and the day after. I believe it's UK time, 7 to 9 each day. The Zoom information is on the poster that I forwarded. I don't know the funeral details, Prabhu. I know that the cremation is currently scheduled for Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure that as we get more information, we'll share that. If anybody gets more information, please share that on the chat and on the email conference as well. So just a last request. Does anybody want to say anything before we wrap?
Hare Krishna Mataji, just one thing. Please accept my humble obeisances. I'm so unfortunate that I never met Janakinath Prabhu, seriously. But in last few days, whatever I heard, that inspired me so much. Whatever like video I could get on YouTube, I just tried to. Like every single word, like looks like quite amazing. So much inspirational, and I could see the personality like so much in light mood. Like he passed very difficult subject, very difficult topic, and I think for me, I personally feel it's like as Tushar Prabhu also said, that kind of benchmark he has set for everybody, for every devotee. It's really, really something to learn in terms of dedication to Guru, dedication to all the devotees, serving devotees till the last breath in hospitals, converting everywhere, just preaching. That's the focus, and that's the real sign I find in the. I always used to have this question in my mind whenever I really like we go through these scriptures and all those things, that yes, maybe Prabhupada was very different, like personal, like different soul. Yeah, he was a Manjari, people say, and many other acharya. But I always used to think maybe these all gurus or Prabhupada disciples are also maybe some Manjari. But who is at the next level, at that level? So seriously, I used to, sometimes when you hear like equality in everything, no enviness, no nothing, I used to feel that it's kind of a bit difficult to really achieve. But with this, like whatever I have heard, whatever I have seen, and whatever I have like gone through various lectures, it looks like it's very much possible, and it was very much possible, which is really, really big inspiration, very big inspiration to me, Mataji. I don't know, I can't say, but somehow I felt like such big, great soul. I only feel one thing that Guru Maharaj said in last few, not like related to Janakinath Prabhu, but few weeks back in one lecture when somebody asked that when soul leaves the body, what we should do, how we should really manage that time. And Guru Maharaj word was that soul is somewhere nearby. Yeah, many times it's just like in that space, in that area, and we should try to have more and more like sadhana, bhakti, chanting, kirtan for that soul, and that soul get energy, soul get the right movements, right direction. So rather than thinking ourselves in a very negative like way, that we should try to gain some energy, try to chant very seriously, and do some service somehow for that soul. That way, that will be very helpful, and that's the right dedication and right, I should say, um, our just missing that word, but like right honor from our end to Janakinath Prabhu. So I would really request every devotee. I'm sure everybody is much more elevated than me. they are already doing. But a humble request to everyone that please keep Janakinath Prabhu in his prayers, in their prayers, and so he can get the right, like the journey, onward journey is more smoother and more like Krishna conscious. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Janakinath Prabhu. And yes, let's pray for him and also to him. Raghu Prabhu, I saw your note. You'd like to speak, but you have beautiful babies that you're tending to, so that's okay. Next time. Is it possible now or 100% no? If you don't unmute, then we'll understand.
I'm just in the garden with my daughter, so she'll just continue to keep interrupting. So I don't want to do any injustice by cutting a pastime too short or anything. But yeah, I'm completely kind of heartbroken by this whole situation and don't really understand. Don't really understand. But what I do understand is Krishna had the sweetest plan for Janakinath, and I know he was suffering so much. So yeah, this is just Krishna's sweet arrangement. But I hope hopefully another time I had so many things to share, but yeah, hopefully I can speak another time.
Yeah, I was hoping we would hear from you. I know you were very close to him and you spent a lot of time with him. So we are looking forward to hearing more from you whenever that time can come. Okay. Anyone else like to say a few words before we close? Okay. Mataji, you want to say something?
Oh, I have to be short because I'm also with my daughter and she might interrupt, but it'd be nice to maybe have some future talks of some things that we can do for Janakinath Prabhu, like you mentioned Radha Bhakti on Wednesday. Maybe some services that are dear to his heart that we can, put more of our energy towards. Sorry.
That's a great idea. Maybe when we can hear from Raghupati, we can also brainstorm what we can do in service to Janakinath Prabhu. It's always been in my mind to plan wellness retreats for cancer patients. Maybe we can tag team and do a few based on where we all live in his honor. Anyone else?
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Oh, sorry. Shilpa Mataji, go ahead.
My humble obeisances, everyone. Oh, glories to Janakinath Prabhu and Guru Maharaj. I'm just wondering what we can do as a God family. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm just wondering because we will get requests from devotees at the manor. And as a God family, I know there's programs going on at the manor, but I'm not sure whether we will be doing something, just something to bear in mind. I know Guru Maharaj might not be around. I think he's got plans, but I don't want to reveal anything because I'm not sure whether they're still happening. Hopefully Guru Maharaj may be coming here. We're not sure, but it all depends with this COVID situation, whether he'll be allowed. So don't share, just keep it within ourselves at the moment. And something I want to share is if we can do something small. So if somebody does want to join the God family, we can extend it out. Like Vrindavan Prabhu said, maybe we can do some kirtan together, even if it's for an hour. If somebody has any ideas, please share so we can share the word outside the God family as well. That's all I wanted to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shilpa Mataji. Great idea. If anyone has any ideas, please feel free to share now. But otherwise, we can keep thinking about it and share over email and WhatsApp together. We can do much more, continue to have different events to honor Janakinath Prabhu. Does anyone have any thoughts or any words that they would like to share?
Mataji, sorry. Sorry,
No,
go on.
go on, Dipti.
Okay. I was just thinking if anyone knows from the very beginning journey of Janakinath Prabhu, rather than just sharing one incident here and one incident there, we can put all of them together as a whole journey of Janakinath Prabhu like that. If anyone, we can put all the ideas together. And if suppose somebody knows, like Raghupati Prabhu knows him from the very beginning, so we can do that way.
It's a lovely idea.
Haribol, yeah, I mean, one of the pastimes I wanted to share was the first time Janakinath kind of had any interaction with Guru Maharaj. Maybe I don't know, my daughter's behaving herself, so maybe I'll share quickly. But in 2008, there was a Pandav Sena trip to Vrindavan, and I remember I kind of agreed to go on the trip to serve Guru Maharaj, and frankly, I did a very bad job at it. And then Janakinath we just got off the plane, and he came up to me and he said, "Oh, so, hey," like, in the way he was, he's like, "Hey, G," and all young and full of so much energy. Sorry, 2 seconds. Say Haribol, everybody.
Haribol.
Haribol. Sorry. Yeah, and then okay. I think this is as far as I'm gonna get. We'll have to do another time. Say Haribol. Say Haribol.
Haribol. Okay. No problem.
Okay. Yeah. We'll continue another time. You said Haribol, my love.
Sweet way. Sweet way to wrap. Thank you, Dipti Mataji, for the idea, and Shilpa Mataji for the ideas. Let's continue to brainstorm online, and yeah, we can do one or several more events in Janakinath Prabhu's honor. Sridevi Mataji,
yeah, my humble obeisances to you, Radha Bhakti, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. I really, really, in my heart, feel that we should all come together and share our memories and write a book on this great soul. Just as Janakinath Prabhu, he was called Johnny Ananda by all the local people because he was so full of bliss, so full of joy, and always giving Krishna consciousness to others. And our Janakinath is like that. If you look at Janakinath Prabhu's life story, he was young, he got leukemia, he left his body before Srila Prabhupada. Our Janakinath is very similar in that respect because he has a similar mindset, he has the same mood, he has totally sold out to Guru and Krishna and full of joy, full of life, full of love to give to others, always giving. So just as they wrote a book on Janakinath Prabhu, I think we can all come together and share whatever little bit we know and compile a book of memoirs dedicated to His Grace Janakinath, because his life story is so significant and his deeds are so exemplary that they should be there for posterity. Generations to come should know who is this great soul and how he served Guru Maharaj. So I think a book would be a very nice way to preserve what Janakinath has given us and pass it on to the next generation. That's my humble suggestion. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. I love that idea, Mataji. We can start. That'll be relatively easy to do in terms of we can all just write our stories, to your point. Thank you so much. So that's an idea, a book. That's okay, Raghupati Prabhu. A book, kirtan, some sort of event we can invite other people to. So let's keep our heads together and continue to celebrate our wonderful God brother. Does anyone else want to say something? I noticed a couple of people just joined. If anybody wants to say a few words about Janakinath Prabhu before we wrap. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow for, I think Radha Prabhu is giving the daily class tomorrow. And yeah, we'll continue to stay in touch via email, conference, and WhatsApp as to how we can continue to honor His Grace Janakinath Prabhu. His Grace Janakinath Prabhu ki jai.
Jai. Thank you.
Super spreader event.
So is my understanding correct, Radha Bhakti, that within 40 minutes, the London program to honor Janakinath will begin?
I think it's in an hour and 40 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I think it starts at
Oh.
7 p.m. UK time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I will, yeah, I'll resend it in the WhatsApp group so everybody has that info.
Thank you so much. My humble obeisances to you, Radha Bhakti. Thank you for organizing this. My humble obeisances to all Vaishnavas, my dear God family. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Radha Bhakti.